Hi, and welcome to the Floral and Wire Mickey Ears tutorial. We've listed all the supplies you will need for these in the description below. Here's a listing of what you need in case you just want to check it out here. And let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is a round object about 4 inches wide. We've seen that that is about the right size for the wire Mickey ears. All right, you're gonna grab your floral wire. Now they have tons of colors and choices in this, so we're going to be using a brass colored floral wire, but there's silver, black, and I even think they have a couple different colors like pink and purple. So pick the color that works for you. You're gonna need wire cutters, and what you're gonna wanna do is just wrap it around your object. And you're going to want to leave about 4 or 5 inches on the bottom so that you can use to wrap around your headband. All right, you're going to make 2 of them, and your next step will be to get a tape measure and measure from the bottom of your headband 3.5 inches. That's where the first side of the ears will wrap around your headband. So what you want to do is don't worry too much about the shape of your Mickey ear right now. The floral wire is really pliable. And so right now you just want to focus on wrapping that extra bit of wire at the bottom around your headband. And you'll use your pliers to squeeze the wire around the headband. Now we've used a really thin headband here, and we got all our headbands at Joann's, and I know they have them at Michael's and all of that, so you can decide what you want. This is a really thin headband and it works really well for my girls. They like it better than a thicker headband, but during this tutorial we'll show you a thicker headband that we've wrapped wire around so that you can see the difference. But you're just gonna use your pliers to squeeze that wire around the headband, and you'll want to wrap it at least 3 times. Once you get it nice and wrapped and tight on there, don't worry if it jiggles a little bit because when you glue the flowers onto the headband, the glue actually helps it stay on there. You can always use your round object to reshape the ears if you're getting a little bit worried that you're losing that Mickey ear look. And then once you've done one side of your ear, you're going to take your tape measure and measure out 2 inches, and the 2 different sides of the ear should be about 2 inches apart. And you'll wrap the wire around the headband like you did at the beginning. Like we said, don't worry about the Mickey shape so much because you have plenty of time and opportunity to reshape it while you're doing it. As you can see, you just keep crimping that wire around and clipping it off, and the hot glue also helps to make sure that little bit of an edge that you've snipped off with your wire cutters isn't sharp, so it just protects you from getting scratched and works really well. Okay, once you've done one ear, you're ready to do the other. As long as you're measuring from the bottom of the headband, you should be good. 3.5 inches from the bottom, 2 inches in between, and then wrap it around the headband, and you're good to go. All right, you'll need your hot glue gun and scissors and the flowers you've chosen. You decide what kind of flowers you want. We went with smaller flowers, but we've seen some beautiful ears that have really big flowers. We've gone with small rose-looking flowers, and so what we're going to do is just put a dab of glue. The first one we're going to do is going to be right on top of that swirl of wire. And you want to make sure that when you set it on this thinner band that the back of the flower is not sticking too far off the band. But when you're putting it on, remember to make the flowers face the direction you want them to face, and like whether you want the flowers facing up or you want the flowers facing out. Just make sure once that hot glue gets on there, it's difficult to move the flower. So set the flower on there and then let it cool off. Always remember hot glue, super hot, so watch those fingers. And then you're just gonna fill it with flowers. These ears, we've decided to just do the flowers underneath the ears because we're gonna put a bow on them, but you have the option and opportunity to put those flowers on however you like. My youngest liked it all the way across the ears, and my oldest likes it just under the ears. And then these ones we're gonna do bows. Here is the thicker headband with the wire wrapped around. We went with purple and a silver wire. And now we're gonna glue on. This is a little bit easier to do than the thin wire headband because you have much more space on the headband to glue down the flowers. You don't have to snip off as much of the flower as you did with the thinner headband. And here again, we're just gonna put flowers underneath the ears. So you're gonna want to make sure you get enough glue on here since you have a little bit more space on that headband. And you're gonna want to arrange your flowers on there. The thicker headbands are easier for the bigger flowers. And you have so many options to put decorations and bows and ribbons or any kind of items you like. We're gonna get ready to make our bows, and we're gonna start off with a thick ribbon. We've decided to do, it's like a 2-inch ribbon, and you start off by measuring out 13 inches with the 2-inch ribbon and 7 inches with the 1-inch ribbon. We've gone for a matte on the thicker and a satin on the thin. And we're going to measure those out. And once you have your 2 pieces of ribbon, what you're going to want to do is fold the thick ribbon into 3 parts. And you want them to be as even as possible. So those pointy ends, you want them to go all the way to the end. And then you're going to pick up your ribbon and you're just going to try to make 2 folds. So you're kind of making a mouth, and that gathers the ribbon in the middle to make your bow. This is something you might need to play with a little bit. So if you get a roll of ribbon, you might need to work on that. You put a little glue into the center, and we've actually even used pliers to hold it together because the glue is really hot. And then with that glue that you've just put in there, it's going to kind of seep out. Stick your satin ribbon on there. It might look a little odd at first because you'll be able to see the glue. Sometimes it changes the color of the ribbon, but you've left yourself enough ribbon with that length to be able to wrap it around completely one more time once you get it on your ears. And then at this point, you're going to want to put glue in the other folds. And obviously all this is going to be covered by your thinner ribbon. Give it a little time to dry because we don't want it falling apart on your headband. At this point, you're going to kind of put the headband where you want the ribbon, the bow to go, in between the two pieces of ribbon. Then you're going to go ahead and glue, put a little more hot glue in between so that you can glue down that top piece of ribbon. Then you'll wrap it all the way around and glue down the other piece. If you have excess ribbon and it's just too much to wrap around, obviously with the different size headbands, it's all going to vary some. But all you want to do is wrap around that ribbon so you're covering up the glue spots and that you meet down underneath the headband. And there are your floral ears. Here are all the different ways that we've done them, and you can do it any way that suits you. It's a fun thing to take to Disney that's just you. All of the supplies will be in the description below, and thanks for watching!